Hello everyone. Is my voice audible now? Can anybody just type in if my voice is audible? Okay, that's great. Sorry for the delay. I actually joined in maybe half an hour ago, but the problem was there was some problem with my voice. I hope you can hear my voice now. So we are going to start off with today's topic, which is going to be on Revit architecture. This software is one of the softwares of BIM, which represents Building Information Modeling. BIM represents Building Information Modeling, BIM, and Revit is one of the softwares of BIM. And we use Revit software for architectural designing, for creating models of residential buildings, commercial buildings, interior designs, and so on. We can also create 2D plans, 3D plans, and top views of buildings. We can do a lot of similar modeling things with the help of Revit architecture. And among different architectural softwares which are there today throughout the world, Revit is the mostly used software in the world, which is used everywhere throughout the world. So we are going to start off with how we can model things in Revit architecture. So when I open the Revit software, the first thing that I can see here is this tab, which shows me two things. One is recent files, and the other one is families. These are the two things that appear on the screen as soon as you open Revit architecture. Recent files represent the files which were used or the files which were created by yourself. You can open them again. And in the bottom, we have something called as families. Families is nothing but creating models of components. What is a component? Component is something which is not related to building materials. Let's say, for example, a wall is a building material which can be created with Revit architecture software itself. Something which you need to create by your own self, which is generic, or which you want to create differently, a unique model you want to create, something which is not there in the Revit architecture by default. That type of thing is called as a component. For example, you want to create your own table. That is a component. You want to create your own, let's say, a chair. You want to create your own car. You can create car. You can create a table. You can create a bench. You can create a sofa. You can create a human being. You can create anything you want. Anything which is not present in the default settings of Revit architecture, that is called as a component, and that component can be created with the help of families, right? And on the left side of your Revit architecture tab, we have two main things. One is models, the other one is families. In models, you can open a model which you have already created. If I click on that, the Revit architecture is going to take me to a tab where you can open up any file that you have created earlier. In this PC, I will go to downloads or maybe to documents. If I have something which I've already created in Revit architecture, I can open those files. Okay, that is one thing. The other one is new. New represents creating a new file, and in that new file, you can open up a template. Template represents the settings by default which are there in Revit architecture. When I click on new, I have a file called as template file. In that you can see a lot of templates. The first one is Imperial Construction Template. The second one is Imperial Architectural Template, Imperial Structural Template, Imperial Systems Template. These are different templates that are present in Revit architecture. You can use any of them, but which we prefer as architects is Imperial Architectural Template. Okay, so you can use any of them, but right now I'm going to open up Imperial Architectural Template. Okay, next is there are two options here. The first one says project, the second one says project template. Always use project because template is something that you want to create a new type of settings for yourself. This we are going to understand later on, but right now, just by clicking on project, you can open up a project file. Right now, I'm in the Revit architecture's main page where I can see all the tools that are required for me to create architectural models. I hope everybody is understanding. If you have any questions, you can ask me right now. Just give me a second. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section. So when I open the Revit architecture software, I see two things mainly. So I think I see two things mainly. The top portion is called as the user interface of the Revit architecture. User interface is nothing but tools that we use to create models. I'll start off with wall. The first option that you can see is a wall. You can create walls with the help of Revit architecture. I'm just showing you an example of how we can create walls. Okay. Next, we have doors. Revit is one of the best softwares in which you can create ready-made walls, windows, doors, and similarly. Few things that you can create only in Revit software. In other softwares, does anybody have a doubt? Screen is not clearly visible. Uh, how many of you feel the screen is not clearly visible? Just can you type in? If yes, yes. If no, no. If the screen is visible properly, you can type in yes. So, guys, many of you can see the screen properly, but some of you are not able to see it. Probably this might be because of internet problem, network issues, or something. But just stick on to the screen as far as possible. If there is a problem in the network, please check it once. I see that many of you can see the screen properly. Okay, I'll change the settings as well. Just give me a second. It seems my screen quality is actually high. There is no problem in my screen, but for viewers, we suggest you go to the settings and watch the video in 720p or more than that, at least 720p. Viewers, please change the settings. You'll see that in YouTube you have settings where you can change the video quality to 1080p. So we are going to continue the class. So in Revit, we have walls. You can draw walls. I'll show you just how you can draw a wall. This is a generic class. I have not specifically started each and every detail. I'm just showing you what all you can do with the help of Revit architecture. The first one is wall. Next, with the help of doors, you just have to click on doors. You have to click on the wall. It's very simple. Many of you have, I think, used AutoCAD software, in which if you want to place a door in a wall, it's very hectic. First, you need to create a door itself with the help of lines, with the help of curves and all that. Later on, you have to trim the walls, create a position to place the door. And once you've trimmed the walls, you have to place the door on that position itself. And if there is a mistake in the dimension of the wall of the door, you have to again edit the wall, edit the door. It becomes a long and lengthy process. But whereas in Revit, you just have to place the door directly on the wall, and you can also change the position of the door as well. It's that simple. You can also change the direction of the door. You can also change the size of the door. This is the size of the door right now, and later on you can change the size of the door. I have changed it from 36 inches to 30 inches. It's very simple. And you can delete the door again, and when you delete the door, the wall regains its original shape again. It's very simple. You can create plans, 2D plans, 3D plans very easily with the help of Revit. Next we have window. I'll click on window, and I'll click on the place where I want the window to be. I'll just click on the wall. Just by clicking on the wall, I'll get the window. You can place any number of windows. I hope you can see the difference in AutoCAD and Revit. If you want to place a window in AutoCAD, It's very lengthy process. Placing door is a lengthy process, but whereas in Revit, you can do it very fast, very easily. And I'll delete all the windows. The wall regains its original shape. Let's say I'll create a room. This is a room. How did I create a room? It's very simple. I'll click on wall. First, I click on the point where I want the wall to start. First point. Then I'm going to drag my cursor to another point. I'll click on the second point. Now I have the wall created. Now, similarly, I'll drag the wall in another direction. I'll click. When I click, the wall ends. And when I drag it again, you can drag the wall in any direction you want. Now I'm moving in the left direction. I'll click on the wall. You can see in Revit, we also have snapping. Snapping means you can see dotted lines, which represents that you can also stop the wall where the other wall has stopped already. Okay. By this, you can also navigate your wall direction as well. I'll click and I'll click on the last point. Very much similar to what AutoCAD does. You just have to go in a direction, keep on clicking the points where you want the walls to end, and so on. My user interface is already in a full screen. Okay, any questions? Let's continue. So the next thing is you can place a door anywhere you want in the room. I have placed my door here. Similarly, how can you place the door? The first thing you need to do is click on door. Next thing you need to do is take the cursor and place the door on any direction of the wall. You can see that we can place the door anywhere you want. I'm going to place the door here. Now once the door is placed, click on escape button twice and then the command will end. Next, you want to place a window in one of the walls. Click on window. Click on the wall where you need the window to be. I click here. I can click anywhere on the wall. I hope it's getting clear. I want to make clear that today we're just going through what are the different tools available in Revit architecture. Specifically speaking, we are going to understand each and every tool separately, one by one. But right now, we'll understand what are the tools available for us. Okay. So, wall, door, and window, one of the prime features of Revit architecture, we have covered. The next thing is called as component. So, as I was explaining in the starting part of the class, component represents a model which you can create with your own wish and will, whatever you want, however you want. whatever color you want. You can use any model, you can create anything, you can create anything you want in the world. Just giving you an example, uh, I hope everybody has seen Bahubali movie, right? This is actually day one class. Students, it's actually day one class. It's not day seven. There's some mistake in the login. So, okay. I hope you guys have seen Bahubali movie, or you might have seen Avengers movies. You might have seen many movies. In movies, we see things, we see models, we see palaces, we see a lot of things in movies that are not actually present in the actual studio where the shooting is done. We don't find those things in studios. But how are they created? These are created with the help of these softwares, with the help of Revit, with the help of 3ds Max, with the help of other softwares. We create different models, so we can create anything you want. So if you want to create something, okay, please just forward this. Tell everybody to join in the day one's class. So whatever you want to create, which is not there in Revit architecture, you want to create something on your own, something which is different. You want to create your own type of model. You can go to component. In component, we have two options. One is called place a component. The other one is called as model in place. Place a component means placing anything you want. You can place a chair, something which is already present in Revit software. You can place those things. Revit architecture has some components. When I click on place a component, on the left hand side, you can see some models which are already created. For example, desk, you can see some pattern, you can see some parking space, you can see some trees. These are the things which are available by default in Revit software, which you can place anywhere you want. The thing that looks like an umbrella is actually a tree. Okay, that's a tree, and I am placing the trees wherever I want. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to tell you is the top portion is the main toolbar, which is called as user interface, where you are going to get many different tools with the help of which you can create different models. That is one point. Coming to the second point of today's class, on the top you have some tabs available here. The first one is architecture, with which you are going to create different models, and 90% of the work in Revit is done with this tab, that is architecture. Next, you have structure, which is basically for structural designing purposes. And you can also create beams, columns, floors, structural elements with the help of these things. In this tab, we have different structural elements. For example, you can create an I section, you can create a footing, you can create a column, you can create a slab, and similarly. The next thing is steel. In steel, you also have bolt and nut systems. You can create uh, the students who have completed their third year of engineering or fourth year. You might be knowing about these things. You can create structural elements like steel structures, which are created with the help of bolts, welded items, structural elements. You can create with this tab over here. Next, you have precast elements. You can create precast elements, precast columns, precast slabs, precast reinforcements. You can create all these things with the help of precast. The next tab is called as systems, in which you can create plumbing elements, electrical elements, pipes. Similarly, you can create anything which is related to MEP. MEP represents mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. So you can create these three types of elements with the help of systems. The next tab is called as insert. Insert In insert, you can import different drawing files from different softwares. For example, I can import AutoCAD software's plan into my Revit software. I can import anything which is created in SketchUp software. I can import it here. Let's say I have created a model in 3ds Max. I can import it here. I can import pictures from insert tab. I can import materials. I can import CAD file. I can import PDF. Any file which can be imported in Revit architecture can be imported with the help of this tab, which is called as insert. Next, we have annotate, in which you can see the dimensions of the building, linear dimensions, aligned dimensions, angular dimensions, radial dimensions, diameter of circular element, height of an element. You can also name the dimensions. You can also tag a dimension to a wall. You can fix a dimension to some element. So all the things related to dimensions, you'll find it in annotate. Okay. And later on, we have analyze, which is purely structural designing part, which is mostly related to structural designs. Then you have massing and site, with the help of which you can create topographies, mountains, lakes. You can create floors. You can create soil. You can create a landscape with the help of these massing and site. Okay. And later on, we have some more tools which we are going to understand while we continue the class every day. So this is the part where the main Revit architecture is going to be understood, which is called as user interface. And on the left hand side, there is something called as properties. This is the properties of each element. Let's say if I click on wall, I can see the properties of the wall on the left hand side. I'll go back to architecture tab again. I'll click on doors. If I click on doors, you can see the properties of doors on the left hand side. I'll go back to architecture again. Whenever I select something, let's say I click on wall, my tab goes to the right corner side, which shows modify or place wall. What comes under mechanical? In mechanical, we can create tools, we can create bolts and nuts, we can create screws, we can create things which are related to mechanical elements. One of the students asked me a question, I'm just answering them. Okay. So I was saying, on the left hand side, you have architecture. On the right hand side, you have something called as modify. Please note down this particular thing. Modify is the most important tool in Revit. In modify, every tool has its own unique modification tools. Wall has its tools, doors has its own tools, windows has its own tools. So whenever you click on something, let's say if I click on door, my tab will go directly to the modify or place door tab, which is on the right hand side of the user interface. Okay, so please keep this in mind. Yes, tell me, Indu, you have a question? So students, many of you are asking how we can download the Revit software. I'm going to explain it in the last part of the class today. I'll get back to it. Right now, I'm going to type in the name of the website where you can get Revit software. I have typed in the website in which you can get the Revit software. The name is Get Into PC. Just go to Google, go to Get Into PC, and in that search bar, search for Revit. You'll get different Revit softwares 2018 to 2021, 2022, 23 as well. You get all the different years of those softwares. You can download anyone you want. If you have a system which has low graphics, you can download 2018 or 2013. Okay, and if you have a good system, you can go to 2023 as well. Okay, and for student license, I'm going to explain you in the last part of today's class. I'll get back to you. Is there a separate option for Rajkumar says? Is there a separate option for drawing center line? By center line, what do you what is the question that you want regarding center line? Is it related to wall? Can you be more specific about this question? Okay. You have another option to draw a wall. I'll show you what to do. When I click on wall, on the bottom part of user interface, we have something which is called as ribbon, modify ribbon, where you can see a few settings to draw something. Those settings can be first set and then you can use it. Among them, you have in the middle part of the ribbon, you can see location line. The first one is wall center line. The second one is core center line. Third one is finish face exterior. Usually, personally, I use finish face exterior. You can use this one. So what is the difference? When you draw a wall, the wall is going to be drawn on one of the sides of the axis, not on the center. The axis will be there on one side, and on the other side, you'll be having a wall. This is called as drawing wall on finish face exterior. In another option, there is an option called as wall center line. When you draw a wall, you can see that axis is in the middle of the wall. So that's the difference. I hope my answer is clear, Rajkumar. Video is not clear. Students who have joined now, please go to settings in YouTube and change your video quality to 720p or more than that, 1080p. Okay, let's continue. So if you want to delete something, just select it and click on delete. Select it, press the button delete. That's all you have to do. Okay. Now on the left hand part, I was explaining, there is a properties bar. This properties bar is going to display whatever properties the tool that you have selected, it will show its properties. For example, if I've selected wall, I can see the properties of the wall. If I've selected a door, I can see the properties of the door. If I've selected a column, I can see the properties of a column. Door, I can see the properties of door. Okay. Window, I can see the properties of windows. Okay. So this is called as properties bar. And on the same part, on the left hand side, I can see something called as project browser. These two tools are very important to create something, properties and project browser. Now, what is a project browser? Project browsers is nothing but different views that you can work on. I'll click on project browser. The first thing that you can see in a project browser is views. I'll click on views. In views, you can see different types of views available. The first one is floor plans, where you can see the 2D plan of a building in ground floor. Level 1 represents ground floor, level 2 represents first floor, site represents the top view of the entire building. You can see the top view of the building. Level 1, level 2, and site. You have three different types of views. You can also add number of floors to this. Example, I have level 1 and 2. You can also create 10 number of floors. You can also create another number of floor, maybe level 3 or level 4. So these are floor plans. Next, you have ceiling plans, where you can see the plan of a ceiling, where the lights are placed, what is the design of the ceiling, what is the level of the ceiling. This is mainly related to false ceiling, plaster of Paris, or something like PVC ceiling, gypsum ceiling. So these type of ceilings can be viewed with the help of ceiling plans. So first is floor plans, the second is ceiling plan, and the third one is elevations. In elevations, you can see all the four views of a building: front view, side view, left side view, back view, for which Revit has named it north, south, east, and west. In Revit, you can see four cameras. These are the four cameras from which you can see four different views of a building: north view, south view, east view, west view. These are the four views you can see in Revit architecture. Okay. So today we have learned a few things. I'm going to just revise all the things again. I'll brush up all the things again. I'll close the software. So this is the first page that appears when you open Revit software. Okay. Now, once you have opened the Revit software, today we learned models and families. There are two things that you can open. Always start with models, because families is a different concept entirely, which we are going to learn in the later on classes. Now, if I want to open a file which I have already created, I'll click on open. If I want to create a new file, I'll click on new, and in new, I'm going to select architectural template. You can use construction template, you can use architectural template, you can use any template. I'm going to use architectural template, and I am going to click on OK. Okay. Once I've opened, I can see user interface on the top. On the left hand side, I can see project browser, where I can view different views of my building. And in the same tab, I can see properties, where I can see the properties of each element. For example, walls, doors, windows, each element has its own properties. I can view its properties. So this is the main thing that you need to understand in today's class. And apart from this, I'm going to teach you one more tool which is required to start your software or to start your modeling. Before going to that tool, if you have any more questions, you can ask me. Just give me a second. I'll share your entire screen. Now, is it visible? Now, is the project browser and properties bar visible to everyone? Rajkumar says, is there a separate option for drawing centerline plan? Yes, we have another option to draw centerline plan. One of the mostly used method is importing AutoCAD file to your drawing, to your Revit file, and then drawing the walls exactly on the same location as the walls are available in AutoCAD file. That is one of the methods. Any more questions? a very vast field that I am into. And with all these experiences, I'll make sure I'll try my best for all the students to learn this software, to understand the practical aspects of construction, architectural designing, and I want everybody to succeed in your life in the field of architecture and in the field of construction. I'll do my best. So if you have any questions, my voice is not audible. Just type in yes or no. Is my voice audible? Let's see how many of you can hear my voice. How many of you cannot? Most of you can uh, hear my voice. I was just introducing myself, which I did not in the starting part of the class. Uh, did any of you listen to that part of the voice where I was introducing myself? Yes, no. I introduced myself just now. You can type in yes or no. Okay. I'll introduce myself again. My name is Mohammad Taha, and I'm a software trainer. Basically, I'm a civil engineer. After I completed my civil engineering, I went into architectural designing profession. Okay, I hope I'm audible now, right? So, I went into architectural designing profession. I'm into architectural designing. I design residential buildings, commercial buildings, hospitals, schools, houses, interior designs. I'll also show you my different projects that I've completed in my career. Uh, and I've been into this profession for quite a long time, for maybe 8 years. And along with this, I also train students on different architectural softwares. I train students on Revit, AutoCAD, SketchUp, V-Ray, Lumion, and we have Enscape, StatPro, ETABS. These are different softwares that I use, and I also train the students on these softwares. I've been into training profession for a long time, and I've trained thousands of students on these softwares. I've trained thousands of students on aptitude as well. Along with that, I also have completed more than 500 projects I have executed and planned in different locations in India. So it's been a very vast experience in this career, and it's a very wonderful profession. And I would like to, like all of you, to learn these softwares, to understand it, to learn these softwares as well as practical aspects as well, and to excel in your career. And I'm going to make sure once this class is completed, you are going to learn a lot of things. But just just I'm telling you a caution, these 7 days would not be sufficient for you to learn these softwares. You need to work very hard. You need to spend time with these softwares, and you need to keep on practicing these tools. Only then you're going to be able to design the buildings. Otherwise, it's not possible for everyone to just learn the softwares right now, and just if you're not working on it, it's not possible to retain the tools that you have learned. For that, you need to keep on practicing. You need to jump into this profession, keep on working. You'll definitely achieve. You'll definitely become a good architectural designer. Okay, so today's last part of the class is one more tool I want to make you understand. Here, Go to project browser, go to elevations. In elevations, go to any of the four views, maybe east, north, south, west, any of them. I'll go to north. You can see two lines. These lines represents levels. Level 1 is at 0 level, 0 feet. Level 2 is at 10 feet. Now let's say I want another level. Here you have an option called as level. On the right hand side, in architecture tab, go to the right hand side of architecture tab. Is it visible and audible? I think it's visible and audible. Okay. So now you can see level 1 and level 2 on the screen. What you need to do is go to project browser. In project, go to views. In views, go to elevations. In elevations, go to north. You can go to any view, east, west, north, south, any view. I have gone to north view, and in that, go to the right top corner of the user interface, click on level. I can create levels with the help of this. Okay, how to create a level? Just click on any point, drag to your left, click the point second time. Now your level is created. Now this level is level 3. You can also modify the level. Click on this line. You can see that it is 12 feet. Click on that 12 feet. You can also change the dimension of the level. I've changed it to 10 feet. Click on it again. I can create it 15 or 17 or any dimension I want. I've typed 15. I'll click on it again. I'll type 10, enter. 10 feet. Okay. Next, on the right hand side of the level, I can see a checkbox. Click on the checkbox. You can see the name of the level. It's level 3. You can also change the name of the level. Maybe you can name it as second floor. When you type that, there is a dialog box which is going to be asked. It says, would you like to rename the corresponding views? Yes. Okay. Now click on this level 2. Click on the level 2 box. You can change the name of the level. I'm going to type it as first floor. Would you like to rename corresponding views? Yes. Ground. In the level 1, you can change it as ground floor. Click on level. You can change the name. Now, if you go to floor plans, you can see ground floor, first floor, second floor. Since I've changed the names in the levels, you can also see that the names have been changed in the floor plans as well. I hope I'm clear. I hope it's clear. So this is the first thing you need to do before you start the software. Set the levels. You can set any number of levels, level 1, level 2. Usually ground floor, first floor, second floor is not used in Revit. We prefer to use it as level 1 itself. It is more convenient to us as well. I'm going to change the name as level 2 itself. I'll click on second floor. I'll type level 3. So I have changed all the corresponding views and names as well. Now you can see in floor plans, I can see level 1, level 2, level 3. Now if you want to create another one, go to level again, click on any point from one point, drag the line, end it at another point, click on escape button, select the line and change the dimension to 10 feet again. Now click on the checkbox. You can see level 4. So this way you can create different levels and you can name them anything you want. Okay, I'll repeat it again. If you want to create any level, you just have to, let's say I'm at floor plan level 1, go to the bottom portion of the project browser. There is an option called as elevations. Click on that. Click on any 4 views. You can click on any 4 of the views. I'll click on north. And after that, I can see 4 views already available. Usually we have 2 views. I have added 2 more. If you want to add some more levels, go to the top right corner. You can see level. Okay, I'll click on that. I'll click on one of the points. Now I'm going to drag the line to the left hand side. You can also start from left to right or right to left, anything you want. Now I'm going to finish it off here. Once I have finished my level, I can see the new level has been created at 44 feet. 44 from the ground level, which is a little bit high. If you want to change it, click on this line. You can see the dimensions here. It's given 14 feet. Click on that dimension, type the number 10 and just click on enter. Now the height of the floor is 10 feet, which is 40 feet from ground level. That's why it's shown as 40. Rekha asks, sir, is there any option to create the levels of same dimensions at a single time? Yes, we have an option to create multiple number of levels at the same time. For that, you have an option called as grid. Okay. In this option, you can create many number of grids, but I'm going to explain it later on. Any other questions? If you have any questions, please do ask me. Okay. The next thing I want to tell you, the last tool of today's class. Let's say you are at level 1 and you want to see the model in 3D view. Example, I have created a wall like this. I have created a wall like this. If you want to view the walls in three-dimensional view, what you need to do is go to the top portion of the user interface. Here you can see a tab which looks like a house. The symbol looks like a house. Click on that. You can see 3D view in that. default 3D view. Click on that. When I click on default 3D view, I can see the view of the building. And how do you rotate the building? How to do it? In your mouse, I'm going to tell you one thing. Please remember this. If you want to work in Revit, you absolutely need to have a keyboard and a mouse. Keyboard is available in your laptop, but mouse is very much necessary. You cannot create any models without the help of a mouse. Okay. So in the mouse button, in the mouse, in the center we have scroll button. Click on that scroll button and you can move the camera. I'm not moving the building, but I'm actually moving the camera. You can move the camera in left direction, right direction, top, bottom. This is called as pan. Click the scroll button and drag it. That's all you need to do. Click and drag. Click and drag. You can view the building. You can change the or you can move the camera position in four directions: up, down, left, right. Now, if you want to rotate the building, that rotating the building is called as orbit. And that orbit can be done with the help of shift button. Click on shift and then click on the scroll button and move the scroll button. Move the mouse. Shift, scroll button and move. You can rotate the building in any direction you want. This rotating of the building, this is not rotating of the building, this is rotating of the camera. This rotating of the camera is called as orbit. Without clicking shift, if you move, it's called as pan. So in today's class, you have understood about user interface, about project browser, where you can see the different levels. And then you have seen elevations, that is four different views of a building. And then you have learned how to create levels. And at last, I've shown you how to orbit and how to pan the camera view. I'll show you the project browser again. I hope it's visible now. Project browser and properties bar. On the left side of the Revit software, you have properties bar and project browser. If you have any doubts, please type it down. If you have any questions, please do ask me. So I'm going to show you just how you can download the software. So just type Revit 2018 in Google, and then you just have to go to download. For today, please download the Revit software. In tomorrow's class, I'm going to start off the class by installing the software. You have two websites. One is directly by Google. The other one is Get Into PC, which I have typed in the middle of the class somewhere. If anybody has any doubts, please do ask me. So tomorrow's class, we are going to start off with installing the software. We are going to start off the class with installing the software, and then we are going to learn another few topics. In today's class, if you have any questions, please do ask me. Okay, thank you, students. I hope you enjoyed the class. I hope you learned a lot of things. You can also view the video again from the beginning. Uh, View the video completely, understand the concepts again. If you have any other doubts, please let me know in tomorrow's class. Okay, thank you, everybody. Have a nice day.